Hey guys, this is Dominic from the Dodo Cosplay. I'm very active on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, and now I also want to give YouTube a chance and to show my work more elaborate and more detailed here. So if you have seen this video, let me know in the comments so that I know who have seen it. Let me know what you think. This is, by the way, helping me a lot as well for the algorithm so that other people can see my work. If you know my work already from my other social media channels, then you know that I love amazing and huge cosplay builds. There are never enough details. And since I have a fiance who is bald, who has a beard and who is muscular, I thought Kratos would be an amazing idea. And this is what I'm going to show you in the next few videos. This is going to be the first video of a series where I'm going to show you very detailed how I built Kratos. The first video here is about how we built the chest and the shoulder armor. And if you too want to know how to make cool and amazing costumes, then you can get my book. There you can find everything about texture making. It's very beginner friendly and you can learn how to make something like these here, for example. And now, have fun watching. First, we are starting with the Faux vest. I place newspaper on my dress form and sketch the shape. Taking my time here ensures the perfect fit, so I won't need to adjust the fabric later. Once the pattern is ready, I trace it onto the Faux with a fabric marker or chalk. When cutting, I only cut the fabric backing, not the fur. I carefully insert the scissors to keep the long hairs intact for a natural look. Now I clip the fabric pieces together and make sure everything fits perfectly together. Then I hand sew them together. This takes a bit time to make, but it was just super fun doing it. In the back, we have this leather piece. I take my pre-made pattern, trace it onto the Faux and cut it out. After a quick test to make sure that everything fits correctly, I give the plain brown faux leather an aged and worn look. For this, I use acrylic paint, applying it with a sponge and cloth to create a natural and weathered effect. Once the leather looks nice and distressed, I glue it onto the back of the Faux using Instacure Plus super glue. And that's it. The Faux vest is already complete. I think it already looks pretty cool. Now we are building the armor pieces. First, I print out my blueprints, which I designed on the computer. Then I cut them out, assemble them, and do a fitting test to check if the size is correct. Just like before, I take my time here with this step to avoid any adjustments later with the EVA foam. Once I'm sure the size is correct, I trace the paper templates onto high-density EVA foam. I use this type of foam here to make the armor more stable and less flexible. Low-density EVA foam would also work, but the high-density version gives a sturdier result later for the costume. Now I use a laser cutter for the ornaments and the details. I used to do this all by hand, but it was never this clean. This machine is an absolute game changer. A quick test on the armor base and it's already looking pretty promising. Now comes the fun part, textures. This is my absolute favorite part of cosplay. I use my sanding tool to create uneven surfaces on the armor and press stones into the foam for a natural and worn look. Next, I apply 3 layers of black Plastidip to seal the foam before painting. This creates a protective layer, making the paint stick better and last longer. Since the armor is looking like real leather in the end, I use a sponge, a few brushes and acrylic paint. The best part, you can go totally wild with the foam. Bend it, press it and create folds. The more worn and textured it looks in the end, the more realistic the final result will be. Some parts of the armor need a metallic finish. For this, I use Rub and Buff because it has super strong pigmentation and gives a great metallic finish. Now we add rivets and buttons to the armor. To make sure they fit well, I first cut small holes into the EVA foam before inserting the rivets. I always recommend checking online as you can often find large quantities for a good price. I got mine from Amazon for exactly this reason. We continue with some hand stitching. The armor is covered in cords and it's time to sew them on. I started by stitching the red cord around the edges of the armor pieces. Then I added brown leather straps onto the shoulder armor. To get through the EVA foam, I had to use a thick needle. Anything thinner simply wouldn't work. This was my favorite part, because it really gave the costume its natural and realistic look. I had to learn a few new techniques along the way, and to be honest, I messed up a couple of times and had to start over again. But in the end, I think it was totally worth it. This part takes quite a while, so enjoy watching. The cords still looked too new and clean, so I gave them a worn, aged look. Dissolved some brown acrylic paint in the water and brushed it over the cords. Such a simple step, but it makes a huge difference. Here I use a soldering iron to burn holes into the foam so I can pull thicker straps through. Make sure to wear a mask and open a window. Safety first. The smoke isn't something you want to breathe in, trust me. So these straps will connect two armor pieces together. In the next few seconds, you'll see a shoulder piece I forgot to make. Oopsie! But no worries, we are getting closer to the finish line. Over the next few minutes, you'll see all the armor pieces come together. This is honestly the most satisfying part of the entire build, because after all the individual steps, all the painting, sewing and detailing, everything finally starts to take shape. Of course, gluing everything together takes a bit of time. It's important to be patient here and to let glue set properly so everything holds securely. Trust me, it's all worth it. So sit back, relax and enjoy watching all the final pieces come together. And here we are at the end of this step. There's still a lot to do, but I'm really happy with how the start has turned out. Seeing the armor take shape is so exciting, and I can't wait to put everything together for the full cosplay. What do you think so far? And this is the end with the first video of our Kratos cosplay adventure. I hope this video was helpful, that maybe you too now want to build your own Kratos cosplay, or that it was inspiring to you. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!